guys, it's Lynn here. I hope you're all keeping really well and safe. Now today guys, very excited because we're going to be bringing the epiphytic cacti, probably not these two but all the other types of epiphytic cacti, out into the yard, onto the hanging baskets and giving them their first proper watering of the year. And we've got a lot of cacti in our polytunnel, but the majority of the desert cacti, which are all these ones sort of over here, are going to be kept, although it's spring, we're still going to be keeping these dry now because it's still sort of early in the year. They're overwintered in a polytunnel, which is still got the coolish temperatures for this time of year in March, so they're going to be watered probably in the next couple of weeks or so, depending on the weather. I will be watering some of the very shriveled ones, such as these, like that, in the small pots. That's desperate for good drink. So I'm going to be watering them probably in the next day or two, and I'll make a separate video when I water some of the desert cacti for the first time this year after the winter rest, so stay tuned for that video, probably coming on in a couple of days time. But today we're just focusing on the epiphytes. Now the reason why I'm watering the epiphytic cacti is because they can definitely take a lot more water than the desert cacti at this time of year, and also the fact that most of them are actually starting to come into bud already, which we're very excited about. For example here, this is my very old Epiphytic Cactus cactus that I got as a cutting probably about 25 years ago, and it was about that size when I had it. And look at it now guys, it is a beautiful plant and it is absolutely packed full of buds all over it. So probably in about 2 or 3, possibly even 4 months, because they do take a long time to come out, this plant's going to be absolute abundance of the most beautiful flowers guys. So I'm very excited about that. But obviously I haven't given any of these any water at all since probably October, and normally with epiphytic cacti they do still like to have a bit of water lightly throughout the winter months, but the reason why we keep ours totally dry is because we overwinter them in our polytunnel, and we have to keep them dry for that reason. Ideally, epiphytic cacti prefer to be overwintered at a minimum of about 7-8 Celsius. In an ideal world, 10 Celsius, which is 50 Fahrenheit. But because we have to overwinter them here, because we can't really put them in we've got a load of epiphytic cacti already in the house, so the epiphyllums have to stay cool. If you keep them cool and dry, they can take up to 5 Celsius, and that's what we have. 5 Celsius, 41 Fahrenheit. We have a heater that kicks on if it drops below that, so just bear that in mind. And that's why we've kept ours dry. We have a load of other epiphytic cacti up in my office on the plant stand, which I'll show you at the end of this video. They've been kept watered through the winter because they're mostly Ripsalis cacti, which can't take anything below 10 without scarring, so that's why they're all in my office. But the majority of the epiphyllums like this are all out here coming into bud, which is very exciting. Also here as well, signs of buds on here, not as many as the Pegasus, but they're all little buds coming up. As you can see, they're very, very, very slight, so they're all bone dry, starting to shrivel a bit because they need a good drink after the winter. And I was sort of waiting for a dry, mild day to put them out onto the hanging basket stands outside to water them, because when I water them in here, they're so dry, the water's going straight out, and then it's going to really wet the polytunnel. We need to keep the polytunnel very dry still, because it's still early spring. And very happy to see I have 3 different types of Apurocactus in this hanging basket. Apurocactus malisoni, Porophyllum, which is a cross between both of them, that has loads. I'm not joking you, it's never had so many buds in all of its life. I mean, every single areole here is absolutely coming at bursting with bud. So I'm mega excited about this guys, because it's going to be an incredible flower show. And also I'll show you this here. This is my Porocactus flagelliformis, commonly known as the rat's tail, and buds as well all along on it here. Very exciting. So obviously it's time to give them a good watering and also feeding. Now what I like to do with all the cacti and the succulents is I like to start them off with the first watering of the year with a good burst of tomato fertiliser. And I'm not losing my mind, guys. Tomato feed, if you use it at half the strength they recommend for tomatoes, with every sort of third to fourth watering you give your cacti and succulents, it really does help. The extra potassium in the tomato feed really helps to encourage budding and blooms. And I'll link a video at the end of this on tomato fertiliser, how to use it with your cacti and succulents and how it encourages them to flower. So we've got to have that in the water when we water them. And this is my zigzag here. And obviously this one is more of an autumn flowering one, sort of early winter even. It did flower sort of late fall for us, of which we did a video at the time. But this is a little bit of damage from the winter there, because again, the cold, not so much the cold temperatures in our polytunnel. As I say, we keep it just a minimum of 5°C, 41 degrees Fahrenheit. It's more to do with the humidity in here. Obviously Ireland is a high humidity country, and even epiphytes that love humidity find it's a little bit of a battle with the cooler temperatures. So there we go. I'm going to be putting these out on the hanging basket stand. And before I go any further, my wonderful fiance Hans, who is behind the camera filming me and filming this now, do go over and give Hansi, well, give him a big thumbs up first, and also go over and subscribe to his amazing YouTube channel if you're not already. Family of Cacti and Other Beauties, links up above. So Hansi's going to help me lift all of these out onto the hanging basket stand. As I say, the only ones we're not going to bring out is these clyster cacti. They're sort of part epiphytic and part normal cactus, and these still I want to keep dry just for the next few weeks until I start get into the regular water. The reason being, these are more like the normal type of cacti, if there's such a word. They're epiphytic to a point, not as much as these other ones are, and as you can see there's no signs of these shriveling anyway, so they're fine in here. So let's get going, guys. This is it now, and then we're going to show you what it's like bringing them all out onto the hanging basket stands, and show you the process of watering them all. There you go, guys, that's all the epiphyllums. I've got a load, as I say, in the hanging baskets upstairs in my office. I keep watering. I'm going to show you that in a bit, but that's all the ones from the polytunnel out here. And excuse that dirty stain on the wall, guys, that's come from one of the pipes from paint, nothing to do with us. It was there when we moved in, but hopefully the epiphyllums will take away from that. And here we go, and that's one of our other ones that we have here that we had under the table, packed with buds. Absolutely packed. And my lovely big Epiphyllum Ackermanii, that's a very old epiphyllum as well. Can't check if there's any signs of buds yet. Actually there is, yep, there is. Yay! Signs of buds there as well, so that's coming into bud. So what I'm going to be now doing is using the tomato fertiliser, putting it into this, giving them all a really thorough soaking with it, and this is going to really kick-start all of them flower buds even more, so it's going to be bursting with flower. Very exciting. And I've made a video on how I use and why I use tomato fertiliser to feed my cacti and succulents. So links up above to that video, and do check it out, the reasons why I like to use it. And if you're interested in this, then I'll put links down below where you can purchase it from as well. But any type of good quality, Levington's is also another good brand. This is Maxi Crop. Any good quality tomato fertiliser used at half the strength they recommend for tomatoes, from spring and summer, with every third to fourth watering that you give your plants, it works really well. So here we go. I'm going to make up the tomato feed and then get watering. Now there we go. I've got made the mixture up with the tomato fertiliser, 9 litres in there with the water, and I've used it at half strength tomato feed. But I'll explain more about how to use it and everything in that video. So here we go. Giving the first real soaking of the year here, and a thorough wetting of the soil. And the good thing is, because they're out here, when the water drips out the bottom, it's not going to drip out in the polytunnel, it's going to drip out here. So obviously give them a first bit of water and come back to it a bit. These are the Slumbergeras. Normally Slumbergeras should sort of be watered throughout the winter as well, but because we keep these in the polytunnel, we do keep them mostly dry. We're having the first proper drink, I should say, of the year. And again, these here. Great to do. And as I say, I'm going to be watering the desert cacti probably in the next couple of weeks, and watering the ones that are very shriveled in the small pots in the next couple of days. This one is always has an amazing flower show on it every year, this beauty. And there we go, I'm going to carry on watering the rest of these now. And before I finish this video, I'm just going to show you my epiphytic cacti in my office. That they're mostly the Ripsalis that I overwinter in my office. They'll be coming outside here soon, the next few weeks, but I've kept them watered throughout the winter because obviously they're indoors. There we go, guys, that's them all watered out here, so they'll all be ready to burst into flower in the next couple of months. And now I'm going to go upstairs to my office and also my grow room and show you the epiphyllums I've got up there. Now here I am in my office, which is also my grow room, and this is the other hanging basket stand that I have with my epiphytic cactus plants that are not cold hardy, which is why I don't overwinter them in the polytunnel, because these need a minimum of 10 degrees Celsius, which is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And these are all the Ripsalis cacti on here, and I have Hylocereus as well, the commonly known as the dragon fruits as well. They're not cold hardy. These are obviously need to be overwintered warmer, which is why they're in the office, and I've been keeping these lightly watered throughout the winter anyway. So I'm going to be giving them a tomato feed now to set them off into bud again. And to show you here, this is my Ripsalidopsis, which is a Easter cactus as well, that I overwintered last year in the polytunnel. It didn't do too well, so that's why I've overwintered that indoors this year to be on the safe side, as they're not as cold hardy as the Christmas cactus. And look, one of my little Ripsalis is already flowering as well already. They are sort of late winter, early spring flowers, the Ripsalis, and have quite a lot of different types here in the collection. And if you want to see a whole tour of my Epiphytic cactus plants in my collection, links up above to a video I've made on a complete tour of all the epiphytic cacti I have, and there's quite a lot, including quite a few different ones here as well. As you can see, different more Slumbergeras and Ripsalidopsis, the miniature Easter cactus, go on and on and on. And this one, Epiphyllum, one that we got from Urban Plant Life a couple of years ago now, quite a few, but do check out that video. And if you want to know how to grow epiphytic cacti, also do check a video I've made on how to care for and grow epiphytic cacti. Links up above and at the end of this video. And also, if you want to know how to tell the difference between an epiphytic cactus and a desert cactus, check a video I've made out as well a few years ago now on how to tell the difference between a desert and a epiphytic cactus. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't done already, please do subscribe and don't forget to click that notification bell. And if you want to know a little bit more on how to grow cacti and succulents in general, do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. And I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of plant power from across the Emerald Isle. And until my next video, bye. Bye.